How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we have one that's kind of from the community, but not a community questions one. It's kind of more of a community past stories sort of thing, I suppose. It should be quite interesting though, because I put out a community post asking the question of, do you have any stories of times you've been scammed or lured in the past when you learned from your mistakes, or any funny experiences or close calls? I thought these could be interesting to share in a video. People may learn things to watch out for, and to be honest, there could be some laughs to be had as well, because I know I have plenty of stories like this that when I look back on them now, they're not actually like annoying or frustrating or anything. They're more just hilarious and funny, like thinking, how the hell did I fall for stuff like that? But I guess when you're a kid and think you know everything, it's kind of a little bit different. But anyway, we're going to hear some stories from the community on this. There's going to be some stuff in here that I hope will be pretty interesting or funny, and I'm sure you guys are going to be able to relate at least to some of them, probably, because I think this happened to most people, right? There's just surely plenty of people out there who it didn't happen to, but it seems like this is a pretty common thing for back in the day. Anyway, let's take a look and let's see what's happened to other people in the past. Before we get started, thank you so much to Ace Defender for sponsoring this video. Ace Defender is a high-quality SRPG masterpiece combining turn-based RPG battle with tower defense elements. The game has 40 plus chapters, nearly 2,000 levels, and 48 heroes with deep hero background stories. 2 new heroes are added to the game every 2 weeks. You can level up, combine heroes, and equip gear to create a powerful lineup. There's 2 gameplay modes, PvE and PvP. In PvE, you will explore dungeons and regions, engage in trials, level up your heroes, and collect rare items. In PvP, you'll fight against other players within your server or across servers in different arenas. You can also speed up the gameplay with 1x, 2x, or 4x gameplay speeds. Currently, a brand new hero called Brenda the Demon Spear with the ability to deal massive damages in both PvE and PvP battles. She limits her opponent's damage and recovers her own health. There's a mysterious new world called the Realm of Deities, which will be available soon in the game, where you can build your castle, develop technology, and train soldiers to conquer the cities for endless treasures. On the Realm of Deities map, you can defeat all kinds of monsters and get rewards, fight together with your allies, and gain more power for your heroes through the magical research. New users who download the game from the link in the description will get 10 Royal Recruit tickets after completing Chapter 2, Level 8. You can use the tickets by clicking Sky City, Tavern, Recruit 10 times. So if anything from the description of Ace Defender sounds like an interest to you, go to the description, click on the link and download the game, get your awesome rewards, and enjoy playing while you're AFKing stuff in RuneScape. Okay, so to get started, I will say towards the end of this, I'll talk about one of my experiences as well, but we'll have a look at some from the community first. They are quite long, as I did say to them, make it as long and detailed as you want to make it so it's more interesting that way. But we'll get through a few of these and we'll talk about them and probably have a couple of laughs, and then we'll go ahead to something to do with what's happened to me in the past, and I'm sure you guys will have plenty of laughs at that as well. Anyway, let's start off with the most upvoted post on this thread. So this one should be good. Let's have a look. Okay, so the first one says, oh yes I do. I was around 8 years old, that's early to be playing the game, but anyway, just discovered the game through a friend. I was one of these kids who picked flax for their money, and I had finally saved up enough money to purchase myself a set of beautiful black armor, which by today's standard is mostly overlooked, but I assure you it was a status symbol back in the day. Honestly, actually, this is actually true. So picking flax and stuff is something I used to do as well when I was playing back in the day. It was like probably the best, not the best, but like one of the more consistent money makers, and everyone did it. You pick the flax, you spin it in Lumbridge, then you sell it and you buy whatever you want to get. Things like black armor and mithril and all that sort of stuff were expensive. Like the amount of money you paid for it wasn't like huge, but the fact that just having that much money in the first place was absolutely crazy. Like it was ridiculous. Having a rune scimitar like 100k was probably the peak of my wealth back in the day. It really was. And then I think I actually lost that as well, but we'll get onto that. Anyways, as I was standing in the Plate Leg store in Falador, a gentleman came up to me and complimented my armor. Wow, that's a nice set of armor, but have you seen the gold trimmed version? It looks even cooler. I have 70 smithing and I'm working on my skill cape so I could trim it for you for free. How could I say no? Better looking armor for free? Hell yeah. Without any hesitation, I traded this person my armor that took me hours to grind for, and of course, the second the trade went through, he logged out, not a word was said. I was gutted, pretty sure I'd cried to my mum, to which she said, never trust anyone on the internet. While this isn't entirely true, I definitely learned my lesson and haven't gotten scammed in RuneScape since, and thankfully they didn't get me for millions of GP. So the trimming armor scam is absolutely probably one of the most famous scams in RuneScape, next to like doubling coins maybe, but I'm pretty sure the trimming armor is even more like well known or whatever. But back in the day, people used to literally, no one knew anything about the game. Like, I don't know if the wiki existed, or there really just wasn't much knowledge just passed around online or anything, so people couldn't really do the research, and people were always wondering, how do you get like the gold trim on armor? You get rune gold, you get like your mithril gold or adamant gold, all that sort of stuff, and the black gold set was like the goal for everybody, right? It was absolutely crazy, but no one really knew how it happened. They didn't know where it came from really, because no one knew where to look for that information. So people used to just stand at the Grand Exchange or walk around looking for players like this person and saying, I can trim that armor for you if you want, for absolutely free. I'll just do it for leveling up or whatever, and I'll trim it for you for free. Then of course, as exactly what happened with this person, they will take your armor, they would either just run away and never come back, or they would just log and change world. And that was it. Your armor was gone forever. And of course, you willingly traded this armor to the person, so they never really got banned. And it's the same today. Like, scammers just don't really get banned because technically you traded that to them, and it is what it is. That's super unfortunate, but I'm sure plenty of people can relate to this. Like, there's probably a reason that this is the most upvoted comment on this thread, so I'm not surprised. And you say they at least didn't get you for millions of GP, but back in the day, like, that would be like the same sort of feeling as getting scammed for millions of GP, like today, even like a lot of GP today compared to then. So I guess in a way they kind of did. The next comment says, when I first started playing RuneScape back in like 2009 or so, before knowing about scammers and hackers, someone PM'd me and asked if I wanted to be a player mod. At the time I had no idea how any of that worked, so I assumed this person, who claimed to be a JMod offering me a PMod role, was legit. The good old freaking player mod scam. This one's still happening today, by the way, so for anyone who is new to the game and aren't aware, or you just are unsure about what's going to go on anyway, if you've been playing for a while and this is new to you, just take this into account, because you will still get these messages today. But anyway, I went to the website they told me, logged in so I could get my PMod status, and then I got logged out. My heart sank because I had borrowed Bandos tassets and chestplate in my bank, which were really expensive back then and hard to get. In 2009, Bandos was like best in slot, so yeah, these were freaking expensive, like so expensive. When I was able to log back in, everything was gone and I realized I had been hacked. Obviously it was my fault to do what this person was telling me to do, but I didn't know about the community warning people around scammers or hackers back then, and if there was even widespread community knowledge. Anyways, I learned my lesson and I've never had another issue since. Damn, that is really unfortunate, because like I said, this is still going on today, and while it is a lot more clear that this is a scam these days, because to get a PMod now, you don't really get any sort of contact at all other than a message, like to your actual message center, I believe, and then when you've got that message, you can just basically confirm whether you want to be a mod or not. But you don't get a private message, and the account that they usually used to message you off, and probably still today will, is called like, they'll call it like Jag something, like Jag whatever, maybe they'll take a mod's name or whatever and stick it at the end, but they'll act like it's a JMod account. But really important to know that JMods in game have a gold crown next to them. They will always have a gold crown next to their name, but also they'll never just contact you in game just to like offer you stuff like that. It's just not what they do. They have other ways of doing it so that things like these scams and stuff can't go through. But of course, if someone messages you and you're unaware, then you can let the excitement get to you, I suppose. You can get distracted, and you can definitely get sucked in with this one. But yes, if anyone ever messages you offering you anything like that, claiming to be from Jagex, just add them to ignore, report them, and just that'll do pretty much. That's all you can do. Just trust me, if anyone ever says they work at Jagex, they don't work at Jagex, because if they did, they wouldn't need to tell you that, because they'd have a gold crown next to their name, which would automatically tell you that that's where they worked. Okay, comment number 3. Way back before the Grand Exchange, me and a pal put our money together to buy full Guthans, as that was the armor set to have since the healing effect was so OP. I gave all my money to my pal. He ended up getting full Guthans armor, but a leaf-bladed spear instead of a Guthan spear. Oh, rip. I have never been so heartbroken, but we persevered, and I'm currently maxed in the main game and can afford hundreds of Guthan sets. So back in the day, they never used to have all these warnings that you have in the trade window now, and this is literally why they have that now, because that people used to do this all the time. They would replace items with other things, or they would quickly swap something around where you didn't know, or they'd take quantities out or something, so you instead of getting 10 of something, you would end up getting 1 or 100 down to 10 or whatever, something like that. and they used to put items in there that would look like something else. So I assumed the leaf-bladed spear probably looked very similar to a Guthing spear back in the day, or originally they would have had the Guthing spear in the trade, and then once the friend of his actually checked and it said Guthing spear, they would give that enough time and they'd switch them around just before pressing accept. There never used to be the big red exclamation marks. There never used to be something that said like check that the trade hasn't changed or anything. It was just accept, and then on the second trade you would accept again. But people didn't read the second trade. You just didn't. You've already checked it on the first one, you automatically click accept, and then you realize that rip, you have been scammed. They used to do it with noted items because it was so hard to see the difference between certain items as well. And I'm pretty sure as well, you used to be able to change the amount of coins offered in a trade at the last second too. And it didn't like flag up or anything, it didn't show anything. So if you were offering 100 mil, or maybe not 100 mil, if you were offering like, I don't know, 100k, you could drop that down to 10k at the last second and people just wouldn't notice because it's already been checked. I've already checked it. It's fine, we can press accept. This happened a lot, and that's why they added all these changes to the trade window. So nowadays it's a bit harder to get away with it because the trade window will like flash up all these things and it will not let you accept until you've double checked and triple checked. But still, just double check what you're buying, because if they note something and it looks like something else, then it could still happen. This next comment is quite a long one, but I feel like it has a bit of value to add for people today even, because this thing is still going on and I feel like it's probably going to be quite important to mention. So the story goes like this. It was me returning to the game after an 8 years break. I hated the clunky combat, but I was determined to learn how to use it. Twitch was my only option because I understood nothing from PvME. I saw the RS guy, watched him for a week or so, and after coming back from work one night, I opened Twitch, saw the RS guy's stream, but this time he had 700 viewers. It was more than normal. After reading the title, it was that he was quitting, and the reason is in the description. I opened the stream and the stream was of him talking about quitting. Literally the real him saying that. My brain had shut down. I scrolled to see the link, double checked it. It was HTTPS and the same as the RuneScape site, and I clicked. The site asked me to put my password, so I did. After that, they asked for my PIN. I said to myself, is this the new way of security from Jagex? I placed the PIN and the site lagged. I wasn't too suspicious because we know about the potato servers that Jagex owns. I refreshed, had to put the password and PIN again, and after waiting some time, it logged in. The forums were blank. I started saying to myself, you have the password saved, idiot. So I quickly opened my password vault and noticed that it wasn't the official site and that I'd had my account phished. I quickly requested a password change and logged in to see my 200 mil lost, which was all I had, but at least they'd left my 50 mil gear. Moral of the story, no one uses the RuneScape forums, so never click a link to the forums. Okay, so there's quite a few things to learn about this, right? And you guys have probably seen the phishing Twitch streams. I don't know if they're like as common anymore, but every now and again one will pop up and you've got to keep an eye out for it because they don't always use the RS guy, but they'll always have the most viewers and it'll always be right at the top. And the RS guy probably is the most common one to use, to be fair. Anyway, basically it will say that he's quitting the game, he's doing a giveaway or something like that, or you'll log in and it will try and get you to log in to the forums. It will tell you that all the details of the forums or whatever, or on the actual website, so you'll click the link and then it'll ask you to log in just like this person said. You will think you are logging into the forums, or you'll think you're logging into the game for some reason, and this is literally waiting for someone who's having either a bad day, who's overly tired, like people like this who's come back from work and it was late and they're just tired, their brain's not thinking, and that's the sort of person they're waiting for. If 1 in 5,000 people click it, then they've got it. That's all they wanted, right? Because they have no effort after this happens other than to wait for a ping to say that they've got someone, and then they log in and take your wealth. Never ever click a link to a RuneScape site ever. Just don't do it. If someone sends you a link to it, like I will not even put a link to RuneScape in my description, because even though obviously I know that it's a genuine link, there's just no reason to do it. Just Google it. Like if I ever say, go to the RuneScape site and go to this to get access to this, Google it. I'll always say, Google the RuneScape site, go to the genuine website and find it on the actual page, because it's not hard to find, it's easy to navigate, and it's just safer that way, and it keeps people from like being a bit concerned about their account. It's just not worth it. So if anyone ever sends you a link to the RuneScape site in Discord or anything like that, don't bother opening that link. Just go to the actual page in Google, go to it that way, the safest way to do it, and just make sure that your account's safe. Also, they will never ever ask you for your bank PIN when you're logging into the game. That's ridiculous, but I understand that sometimes your brain's just not working and you just think, okay, here you go. And like they said, they thought it was an extra security thing or something like that. Honestly, just don't do it. If that's happening, close it, don't bother, change your password and all that sort of stuff, and just make sure your account's okay. Okay, so this is going to be our last comment from the community. However, there's so many more comments. This thread had like 54 comments or something. So if you guys really enjoy this video and you like listening to the sort of longer stories from the community, let me know in the comments and I will go through and do more from this, because there's a hell of a lot of great stories in here that I could use. It was so hard to pick the ones that I wanted to use in this, because I could literally have just used every single one of them, one after the other. It's crazy. But we're going to do this one, then I'll talk about the one I had, and then that'll be it for this one. But let me know if you want to see more, honestly. Like, I will be happy to do more. Anyway, someone was advertising a trust game. Whoever traded him the highest value of items to which he would trade back to you, he would give the winner 1 mil. I started out trading little by little to the point where I had traded my full black G armor. The black G armor comes back into it. Maybe about 100k of gold and some other items. Maybe a total value of 300k back in the day, which was a hell of a lot. I trusted him after the first couple of trades until I gave him the last set of items, to which he declared me the winner, and he logged out. I cried about it and felt devastated when he logged with all my hard-earned gear. Never again. This is, oh man, this actually brought me back quite a bit, because I did get, I think I got scammed by something like this in the past, or I got close to getting scammed by it actually. I don't think I ever actually lost my items. I think I sort of caught on after the first couple of trades, but it was because of how the person was doing it. I assume this person maybe didn't do it the same way, but we don't actually know about all the details. However, these used to be so common back in the day. They'll say, oh, we're doing a trust game and you just have to trade me the stuff, like exactly like they said, but they usually have a second account with them. At least the person that did it to me had an alt account with them. Now, the way they were doing it is they were talking to themselves, pretending to trade themselves items, and then calling out that that other person kept beating me by literally small amounts of gold each and every time, because it had to be that I would trade them something worth 10k, and then if that other person wanted to win, they would then have to trust him and trade him something worth more than 10k. So he would then put something in that was like, he's just traded me 100k, and then I'm like, I've got to beat 100k, so I put 110k in, and he would sort of push my price up like that. The whole point of it is you start small, and of course he trades it back because he wants to see how far you can go with it, right? And when he trades you it back, you kind of think, I mean, he could have logged with that 100k, he could have logged with that 500k, could have logged with that 800k, and then as soon as you get to 1 mil, boom, he's gone. Or like in this case 300k, because 300k back then was crazy. Like, it was a lot of money, so that's really unfortunate to lose that. But yes, they usually have either another person who was completely unexpected and he would just log as soon as he gets as much as he's expecting to get, because you don't want to trade it back and then both of us just go, no, I think I'm done. Or they'll have their alt account and they'll just try and push that one person's price up. But I'm pretty sure I caught on after a couple of trades and just went, actually, I'm not trading you the rest of my money, no way. So I just walked off. But I remember seeing this a lot and telling people like, don't do it, don't trade him, and like running over from the Varrock bank and running over to people and being like, don't trade him your stuff, he will log. It's his alt account or his friend or something, but as soon as you give him enough money, he will log, I promise you. And then seeing people actually get scammed because they don't believe you or they don't listen, it's just sad. It's very sad, but this definitely happened quite a lot, and I'm sure plenty of people will probably remember this sort of thing. This could technically still happen today, so keep an eye out for it, but I assume most people will probably be caught onto this style of scamming anyway. Okay, so that was the final community comment that we're going to use for this video. Like I said, there's so many more, so we could definitely do a part 2 if you guys are interested. However, I'm going to talk about something that happened to me now and see if you guys can get a bit of a laugh out of it, because when I look back at it now, I can literally only laugh. It's also kind of funny seeing it involves YouTube, and now I'm sat here making YouTube videos, so let's let's talk about this. Back in the day, an Abyssal Whip used to be the best in slot melee weapon that you could get, and I finally managed to get one. I think I worked ridiculously hard to get it, and I had it for probably around about a total of 3 days. On the 3rd day, we'll say, I was stood at the Grand Exchange and someone came over to me and they were talking to me saying, nice, you've got a whip, all this sort of stuff, and then saying, you want to help me make a YouTube video? I'm looking for someone who has a whip to do something for an intro to a YouTube video. It'd be really helpful if you don't mind. So I started talking to them and I was like, I am 99% sure this is a scam. Like, I am so certain that this is a scam, I'm not going to fall for it. But they were PMing me, I was talking to them back, just entertaining the idea, which is always the mistake. It really is. Trying to think you can outsmart the scammers, they've set it up in a way that you usually can't. And they definitely had in this one. So they were saying that they had to do a video in the wilderness for the intro. They wanted to get someone to attack me, but I will be absolutely safe as I will be able to save my one item that I will bring into the wilderness. Don't bring anything else. They were telling me like, no, trust me, please don't bring anything else. I don't want you to risk anything. I don't want you to get caught if anyone else catches us on the way there. I don't want you to bring anything else. Just bring one item. 3 items are usually safe, but I just want you to bring one because it's just not worth the risk, right? So that's what they did. They convinced me that that would be safe, and I was thinking, you know what? One item is safe either way. If I get skulled, I can use a protect item. If I don't even skull, then I'm fine anyway, right? So what's the problem? I brought myself like 10 prayer potions, thinking even if I do get attacked and they do manage to skull trick me, then I'll just have my prayer potions and protect item. It'll be absolutely fine. I'm not going to lose my whip. It's okay. I had a friend telling me, don't do it, dude. You're going to lose your whip. You're going to lose it. I'm telling you, you're going to lose it. And I was like, nah, it's fine. I'm prepared. There's nothing could go wrong. So I go into the wilderness, and I go down to where the volcano was. Well, they take me there. There was one person stood waiting by the specific rock. I can remember it. They were like, stand over here next to this guy who stood by this rock. I can literally remember it. The guy then traded me another 5 prayer potions and said, so we want you to skull on him so it looks like you're trying to attack him. However, drink the prayer potions and make sure you do not lose your prayer. If you lose your prayer, you're going to lose your item. So please don't lose your prayer before you die. And I was like, I mean, they're giving me prayer potions. I've got like another 10 myself, so there shouldn't be any issue. Well, this is where I was wrong. Basically, they had probably one of the smartest lures that I had thought of or even ever experienced, and I still think it was really geniusly well thought out. They gave me potions. They told me to make sure to bring only one item so that I was like convinced that I'd be okay. I had 15 prayer potions on me. Literally about 15 prayer potions on me. No way was I going to lose my whip with protect item, right? Well, there's a spell added to the game in 2006. In 2006, they added a spell called Heal Other. The person who lured me, the person who walked me down there, making the intro for the YouTube video, they had the spell Heal Other. The other person who was stood by the rock was a mage, and they were using Ice Barrage. They basically put on Smite, Ice Barrage or Ice Blitz or whatever it was, the absolute living hell out of me once I'd skulled, and then stood away from me so I couldn't hit back or anything, and they healed me with the other guy, and then of course that guy could just use Barrage over and over and over again until I went through my potions. I'm pretty sure I only got through like 3 potions before my prayer actually dropped, and then they managed to kill me. The second that my prayer dropped, they realized that it had dropped, they let the guy kill me, and that was that. It was gone. My whip was gone. I was like, what the frick? I'm sure they probably saw my stack of prayer potions and thought, holy crap, we shouldn't have got that. And to be honest, thinking about it now, and this is why it's funny, why didn't I just run? Like, why didn't I literally just run? Ice Barrage doesn't freeze you forever. You can run. I think I didn't understand the game enough back then, and when I got frozen and I tried to run and I couldn't, I think I probably just gave up on the fact, and my plan was to just wait until I die and just keep drinking prayer potions. Like, eventually it's got to happen, right? And I don't think I even had a clue what Heal Other was, but now that I sort of think back on it, that's exactly what was happening. So I was thinking, I'm going to die eventually. I'm just going to keep sipping these prayer potions. We'll be absolutely fine. I obviously didn't drink them quick enough. My prayer dropped. They killed me. And I lost my whip. But I did get another one back eventually. It just took a long time. But yeah, people think of stuff like this. It's absolutely crazy. So it's something to keep an eye out for. And the crazy thing is, this happened to me again recently at the Lava Strike Worms. I say recently, it was probably like a year ago now. But I was doing Lava Strike Worms with Noxbow. 2 people came along. I started fighting someone back. They lured me to the King Black Dragon area where the lever was, but they teleblocked me, so I couldn't get through there, even though I did try. But they lured me down there on purpose. They jumped over the rocks, jumped back, and then when I tried to fight, it was someone else. So they skull tricked me, and I was skulled. And then they had one person who was running after me saying, dude, fight back, I'll heal you. Just fight back, I'll keep you healed up. And of course, it was the same thing. They were trying to smite me for my Noxious Longbow and, and get me away with that. I realized surged away and somehow escaped. Don't know how that happened, but yeah, that was pretty much the exact same thing, just done in a different way. But anyway, guys, thank you all for listening to the stories. Thank you all for getting to this part of the video. If you got this far, let me know in the comments, and also let me know if you'd like to hear more of this sort of stuff in the future. I really enjoy this sort of thing. I could literally just listen to this while I'm playing and killing bosses and stuff, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of people that enjoy it as well. Anyway, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you are new, leave some stories down below. I'm sure some people will enjoy reading it. Other than that, guys, thank you to the channel members who support the channel that bit extra each and every day. It is all very much appreciated. Your names have been on screen, of course, as always, and thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.